Badminton tournament is such an important part of the growth of of any kid's badminton journey. Um, Lots of top kids go to tournaments quite regularly, as well as kids that love sports and kids want to grow better as well. So I do think you know as parents, I want to encourage my kids to go to as badminton tournament as I can. So the question I guess this video is about, how do I see, or how do I view, how do I want these tournaments to help my kids? So I thought I'd make a video about that based on my experience anyway, and this could be different from you. Yeah, so I just thought I share our philosophy, our family philosophy, with me and my wife and the kids, and how it's helping our kids. And remember, this is very, very subjective. This all depends on your goals as well. If you want to have fun, you have a different set of goals. If you want to be the best of the best, then you have a different set of goals. So for us, our goals is basically the middle term between of that. Make sure they have fun, and at the same time, it is that fun that keep them playing, and naturally by playing with guidance, from me, they will naturally get better. The question is, how much better do we want them to be? So my philosophy is that what I can teach my kids to be really, really good. I like to think, I have enough skills. I can teach them to be amazing at badminton, but that drive has to really come from them, right? For my role, I have to somehow encourage them so that they want it for themselves rather than me kind of like force it onto them. And that's quite a big difference. So I think this where competition comes in. When it comes to competitions, they get to play with other top kids in the country and as well as in the region, right? But it's not that competition that I think it really drives them. I think it's when they start making friends with those kids, that's when the competition internally start to kick in, right? Because it's really different to when for example, I'll tell Maylin, oh, Maylin, you're going to play this person A, she's amazing, or he's amazing, or whatever. But it's really different to when you say, oh, that person now become your friend, and now you're playing with your friend. And they really don't want to lose against their friend. So I think that's bring me back to probably the most important benefits that maybe a lot of people kind of miss out about tournaments. And tournament, your biggest benefit is actually go out there to make friends, not just the kids, but also as parents and as adults as well. Badminton is an amazing sport. Like, we all play it because it is just so much fun. Whatever level you are, it is just so much fun. And when you go to a tournament, you are essentially surrounded by people who share the same passion, who happen to have kids that are really good and want to get better as well. So everybody there loves badminton. The moment you say hi to somebody and talk about badminton, they are equally as excited to talk to you. It is their initial hello. I guess that's there's a difference. And I'd like to think I'm the kind of person that like to go out there and talk to people, and just not just about badminton, about other things as well. So I love making friends, because through that friendship, you kind of realize that badminton is more than just your kid. Is more than just the people that surround you in your local area. Suddenly now your network of badminton friends grow and grow and grow. And next time when you go to badminton tournament, suddenly it's not just about watching your kids play. It's about, oh, hello there, how's your family, and things like that. And then as you grow that connection, suddenly next time when you go to badminton, you can organize, like staying at a house together. So instead of, me and my daughter just book accommodation or something like that, we could then book a bigger house and we'll share that accommodation with other families. Then suddenly for those kids as well, going to badminton tournament is not just about the results anymore. It's about, oh, I got to spend like a whole weekend with this and this and this. And it just, you can see it in their eyes and their demeanor of like just how that weekend it just becomes so much more than badminton and the results that come along with it. So I personally feel that if you just go to badminton tournaments purely for the games and purely for the result, you are missing out quite a big part of, I guess, the benefit of tournaments can bring to you is that networking, that growing the community, or be part of the bigger community that's out there. And like I said, the hardest part is that first hello. I mean, someone had to say that first hello or say that first word, and then the conversation will just naturally grow. There are parents out there who are, there are always people out there who are, not as talkative as me, so they're happily sitting in the corner with a book and watching their kids play. And there are people out there who are just shy, or people out there who just don't want to do it. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, give it a try. Like, say hi to people. You just never know what connections you're going to make. So I'll give you an example. Last weekend in the tournament, I did it start on a Saturday, so I did a coaching session on a Friday. And there was a kid from Auckland that came along through a request. So I said, okay, that's okay. Come along and join the session. It's quite funny. So in Auckland, so I live in a small town. Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand. So in Auckland, they train really hard, and during the training session, you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to muck around. You have to give your best, or you're gonna get told off by the coach. So it's very intense. Even at like 10 years old. So that's kid 10 years old. He will turn 11 this year. So in my session, I tend to joke around a lot more, laugh a lot more. So I ran it for 2.5 hours, and the kids was really worried because the training up in Auckland is only for about normally an hour and a half, and he'll be dead already. So he wasn't sure if he could last for that long. After 2.5 hours, he couldn't believe that it was over already because he was having so much fun and still learn a lot as well. And it completely changed his mum's perspective on what training could be, right? Or there's another way to train in badminton as well. Fast forward, Saturday, came along, and then Saturday and Sunday, this kid just constantly came up to me, say hi to me, and we would talk during the tournament. And then there was one time when it was all over and we were waiting to watch a final. He would come up to me and go, "Oh, Ben, can you come and have a hit with me?" Okay, of course I can come and have a hit with you. And then we just would laugh and then playing along with it. And it was just so cool. So, this kid I never met before. And suddenly over the weekend, boom, we suddenly got along really, really well. And then once all the tournaments are over, I exchanged my WeChat contact number with his mum. And then I found out that they were still waiting for their flight. I thought they left already, but they were still waiting for their flight. And their flight was last flight out of the city. So I invited them to come over to wait for the flight in our home rather than in the cold city. It's like May, so it's quite cold out there. So I invited them over, and then he, play on Switch with the kids, and they were just having so much fun. And then we had a good chat with the mum. And that's what I mean. Like that kids now, next time when they come to our city, which is going to be in 2 months' time, it's going to be so much fun. And I will happily invite his mum and the kid over for dinner and stuff like that. And it's just purely through badminton. You know what I mean? Like we have just now made new friends. Maylin has made a new friend in that kid. I made a new friend in that kid as well as with the mum. And the mum's she kind of go, she didn't really want to go to the tournament because he's still quite new to badminton, even though he's really good. But she didn't know anyone in Palmerston North. She can go, it's a long way to go to a tournament, and you don't know really anybody. A lot of his teammates didn't go as well. But now she's so glad she came because through the tournament she met us, and through us she also met other people as well. And suddenly she started kind of go, going to tournaments is actually quite fun as a parent. Not just watching the kids, but you actually can have fun as an adult as well. And what I also did was that like on Saturday night, I booked at the local hall and I invited a whole bunch of parents to come, like some beginners, some pretty good, and it's just there to have fun. And I love the fact that there were some good players that kind of realized we had to like drop our level down and not go hard, on the not so good players, especially, with the mum. But we just had so much fun playing badminton as well. So yeah, so I guess the whole purpose of the video is just to share my experience of like what I look for in my tournaments. Because, I know that Maylin can see that I go out and make friends with people. And she is really good at making friends. She loves telling me after every tournament what new friends she has made, she has made, and who she has hang around. And for me, when I see Maylin go to tournament, she would hang around and chat with kids from all over New Zealand, not just from our local city. That's something for me anyway, I'm really proud of as well. The other things that I view that badminton tournament is really important for the likes of Maylin and be the likes of Elin as well, is that for them to learn how to handle games mostly by themselves. In New Zealand, we have like new coaching policy now that you have to be a registered coach, go through a various process to allow you to coach during tournaments. I finally got that accreditation now, but for example, last week and many other tournaments before, I didn't have it, so I just let Maylin play. But the cool thing about just letting them play and not coach them is that they had to figure that out by themselves. There was a game in the quarterfinal in singles where like the first set she lost 22-20, and yet in the next two sets she won 21-10 and 21-4. So I kind of asked her, what made such a big difference between the first, second, and third set? And she would talk to me about what she was feeling in the first set, what things she was doing wrong, and what she had to change to play in the second and third set. And she did all that by herself. I didn't help her. No one came to help her to give her advice. And that's something that I feel is such an important part of the kid's journey. Sure, it's so easy for me to come in and say, Maylin, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. But I also feel it's as equally, if not more important for them to figure it out themselves. So now, even though I do have the coaching pass, I think I would probably only step on court if Maylin wants me. Or another situation where I feel like my presence would helpful is that if the other girl or the other person, the other team has a supporting crew coming up during halftime or something like that, so I just want to be there to talk to them, say hi, keep them happy, keep their spirit up, just make them realize that there's someone there to support them, not necessarily give them pointers. Doubles, I want her to talk to her partners, they can figure it out, right? I might just remind them of some of the things that we have worked on, but I would rather them lose and trying to figure out that by themselves rather than me just telling them what to do and do it. I can certainly tell them what to do after the game so they can take that knowledge and try to implement in the next one. So I'm not quite, this weekend will be the first time I'm allowed to coach during the game. So I'll see how it goes, and I've mentioned to quite a few kids as well, who will be playing there. So I'll be helping them as well. So I want to take that approach and let them know my philosophy, and hopefully trying to get them to think a lot for themselves and less reliance on me. Unless I see something really obvious that they don't see, then I might kind of nudge them along and make them realize what's going on. So yeah, making fun, it's not making fun, making friends, so important, and trying to allow the kids to think for themselves as much as possible. I think that's really, really helpful. So that's my take. I love going to badminton. It's so expensive, but I just love catching up to people, say hi to people. Most of the time I don't even watch Maylin play. I'm too busy talking to people or looking after my other two kids. But badminton tournaments are fun, so much fun. So go and find that fun. Go and realize it. Like, there's just so many friendly and nice and fun people out there to connect with and just expand your little badminton community each time. And trust me, your kids will see it and they will do it as well. Thank you very much. So let me know what you think, before we go say goodbye. Let me know what you think about what you enjoy for badminton. What do you look for? What are your goals for you and your kids for badminton tournaments? I'm really, really curious. These are mine. Could be completely different. Mei Lin at this stage, she doesn't want to, she's not working hard enough to be the best in New Zealand, but that's okay. She's pretty good, but to be the best, among the best in New Zealand, it takes different kind of commitment and training, and it has to come from the kids. It really has to come from the kids. But at the moment, she's happy, I'm happy. That's all that matters. It honestly is in my book. So yeah, I'm curious what you think. So comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Squeeze the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun. Bye bye.